constantly and being put in, um, situations that are chaotic and, you don't want to be there. But I got some good news for you. I wanted to talk to y'all about that. So, to bring some clarity. So, why you are where you are. So, I was reading about David, and I'm going to summarize his story, but if you want to read it, it's First Samuel 16. It goes long. It's a lot of chapters. You'll follow the trail, but it starts at First Samuel 16. But the story of David is David basically served his way to be king, and this was over a period of a long time. And I think a lot of us can relate. I know I personally can relate, but a lot of us can literally relate to his story. So, I'm gonna read this because this is important. This is how David was introduced to the kingdom. So, Samuel, who's a prophet, came to David's house and he was looking for the next king. Basically, when he was assigned to go anoint the next king. Let me be clear. And long story short, David was, doing what he do in the field, with the sheep, the lions, tigers, bears, oh my, he was doing all that. And Samuel came like, where your son at? Like, wait, show me your sons or whatever. And David was kind of like the forgotten one because he was in the field. But Samuel was like, no, you got one more son. Bring your son out. So they called David, and sure enough, Samuel was like, this is the one who I'm supposed to anoint. So David is anointed king, all right? So I don't know how old he is. I don't know all that context. But so after that, David is summoned to the king, okay? The king is Saul at the time. So Saul is being tormented by a spirit that was sent by God to torment him. And David is the answer for Saul to be relieved of that tormented spirit. So okay. So it says, all right, Saul said, find me someone who plays well and bring him here. One of the servants said to Saul, one of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is a talented harp player. Not only that, he is a brave warrior, a man of war, and has good judgment. His reputation already preceded him. He is also a fine-looking young man, and the Lord is with him. I mean, the man is already just all that. Okay, he gave me the resume. It was set for him. But anyway, so Saul sent messengers to Jesse to say, send me your son David the shepherd. Jesse responded by sending David to Saul along with a young goat, a donkey loaded with bread, and a wineskin full of wine. So David went to Saul and began serving him. Saul loved David very much, and David became his armor bearer. Then Saul sent word to Jesse asking, please let David remain in my service. Keyword, service. Serving. For I am very pleased with him. And whenever the tormenting spirit from God troubled Saul, David would play the harp. Then Saul would feel better, and the tormenting spirit would go away. Okay, so let me put all this into context. So David was anointed as king. So a lot of us, let's say you went to school, you've been trained to be, I don't know, a director. But that is not the place you start off, right? So David's anointed as king, but his first trip into the palace is not removing Saul as king and David like steps in like, hey, I'm the king. No. He's he knows he's anointed as king. However, he goes to serve the king, who is Saul. Now, notes that I have. You will always have a calling to serve people before you lead and during the time that you lead, because leadership is nothing but serving people. And the Bible even says, but the greatest among you will be your servant. Whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself shall be raised to honor. That's Matthew 23:11. Now, why is all of this important? What does this have to do with being where you are? There is so much juiciness and amazingness with being called to serve in a particular place or moment in time. Okay, so I was looking up what the word serve means. I looked it up in Hebrew. I'm gonna have to let y'all look that up, but it helped me understand. It gave me a little bit better because at first I'm like, I don't know, but it helped me get some clarity, but I did also look up serve in a regular dictionary. And it was a few definitions, but the one that stood out to me the most, which I think overshadows everything, is to serve. This definition is to be worthy of reliance or trust. Okay, so that is a person of influence already. To serve means to be worthy of reliance or trust. That means that you are dependable. People rely on you. You are needed. Now, some pretense, as you can see, people who got served the most were people of like higher status, kings, queens. They had servants. Okay, just like David went into the king's palace to serve Saul, to get rid of his tormenting spirit. Now, why is it amazing that David is able to serve Saul? Like, what's the big deal? David was trained to be king, basically. He served Saul for a long time. Not only did he play the harp to get rid of Saul's tormenting spirit, he also slayed Goliath, okay? He was tormenting the whole nation, all the Israelites, okay? But serving puts you in a position to learn, number one, and it grooms you to be who you ultimately called to be. Of course, David would be serving in the palace if he was anointed to be the king. How else would he become of reliance and trustworthy to people if he wasn't serving in the palace? Through him serving in the palace, that put him on a level of getting to know people. Like, sometimes people think that you just start at the top and then you look down. No, you start here and you go up so that you can be with the people, okay? So what does this have to do with you? Think about where you are called to serve right now. It could be your family, it could be at work, it could be, church ministry, just wherever you're at. You are there for a reason, but mostly think about you're there to influence, but you're also there to be trained and groomed. And I could personally say, I served as a career navigator / workforce development instructor for 5 years, okay? Working with all kinds of people who are recovering from substance abuse, coming out of prison, re-entering the workforce through from homelessness. I taught these people every day consistently for 5 years, and I also work with teenagers, high school students through mentoring. And you know what that taught me? That taught me how to journey with people, watching them at different stages of their lives and seeing their process and their progress. And I even learned about different programs as I worked for a nonprofit. So serving in that nonprofit, it taught me the ins and outs of a nonprofit. I worked in the education department, so I got to see so many different aspects of education and just how education plays a part in our life experiences. And yeah, and right now I currently serve as a program director. But I didn't even go to school for this, but I didn't jump right into a directorship. Like, I was groomed. This is 5 years of grooming to be able to direct, to be a program director. So this is why you are where you are, because it's training you, it's giving you hands-on experience, not only for your industry, your field, but also it's developing your character. It takes a lot of character to be in positions of leadership. Like, people sometimes get like obsessed with being in high roles and having high titles, but to whom much is given, much is requirement. And if your character can't handle it, and people quick to turn on you. You see how people do celebrities. You be in the limelight, people love you, like, oh, they worship you, and oh, you're so good and you're so this, but let you turn real quick, they gonna turn against you. Something happens, they gonna turn against you. And if you don't have character for that, it could crush you. And as children of God, as believers, as people, we're called to this higher level of work. And our character needs to be able to withstand it. We have to have a thick skin, right? Like everything can't crush you, because if everything is crushing you, then how can you be of influence? How can you fulfill your task, your assignment, your duty, your work, if everything is always taking you out? And as a person who had to develop thick skin, everything is taking me out. I'm so emotional all the time. So um yeah, we have to be developed. That is the underlying part of being able to serve. So look at it as an opportunity. Like, it's not to bring you down or make you look lower. Because I know, like, the word serving is kind of like you think of people who wait on people in restaurants who, serving, taking people's stuff they mess. But at the same time, it is such a leadership position, and a position of reliance and trust, because the people that you serve, they do depend on you. And look, this is what the definition of a leader is: a person who has commanding authority or influence. And you don't get that from just showing up like, hey, trust me, I'm going to influence you, I have authority. No, you get that through serving people. It's a relationship, through building a relationship. And you become the person that is relied on and trusted. And I think, we also got to look at who we are serving. Not only are we serving people, but we're serving God. And I think we definitely, when you go into any workspace, you have to have a higher focus, because work be working. It's gonna get on your nerves. But if you look at it like, hey, I work as though unto the Lord, not man, it gives you a higher vision. So it's like, hey, I'm at this place because I'm serving God. I'm in relationship with God. I do this out of love for Him and His people, because God is all about people. He's in the business of people. So if I work unto the Lord, then what people are doing is not really gonna phase me, because I work unto the Lord. I'm sorry, I'm using the house, but I'm just trying to create a visual. Like, our work is done unto the Lord. Everything I do is for Him. He rewards me. He promotes me. So you're not really phased about what's going on down here, because your mind is up here if you working unto the Lord. Like, things can come at you, but it don't really matter, because all things are working together for your good, because ultimately you're in a position to serve because you are in a position to lead. It's a promotion in the making, and you don't even know it. So I encourage you to refocus your attention at work, in family, wherever you are. Refocus your attention on looking at it like, hey, I'm in training to lead. There is something in me that is displaying leadership. Like, I'm called to lead, and you are called to lead. We lead in love, we lead in our industries. Like, you're called to lead. So get your mind on the higher thing, okay? And look at it as an honor that you are trusted and reliable to serve. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know. Leave a comment. Ask a question. Let me know. What you thought about that. Like, subscribe, share with somebody. But yeah, I'm gonna be breaking things down so we all can go and grow. And I truly believe that we are sent to places. We don't just, it's not a coincidence. It's intentional. So yeah, that's all I got. Take care. And remember, you are sent.